Kirk Frost sat quietly in his elegant living room, surrounded by stylish furniture and family photos that once symbolized happier days. The space, usually filled with warmth and laughter, felt heavy with tension. Staring at his phone, Kirk tried to wrap his mind around the shocking news he had just received. Jasmine had filed for child support, demanding a staggering $7 million. It felt like a blow to his core. Only a few days earlier, they had shared a peaceful breakfast, laughing together as their son's joyful giggles filled the background. How had things changed so fast? The memories of their intense relationship flooded Kirk's mind. They had been through ups and downs, weathering challenges that would have split most couples. Yet this situation felt different, like a deep betrayal he hadn't anticipated. Running a hand through his hair, Kirk muttered to himself, $7 million? Really? It wasn't just about the money. It felt like a message, a bold statement of Jasmine's intentions that left him feeling trapped and isolated. This wasn't just a financial demand. It felt like the beginning of an all-out battle. Kirk couldn't help but reflect on the past, their passionate beginnings, the intense arguments, the magical moments that brought them together. They had loved fiercely and fought just as hard, but somewhere along the line, they had lost their connection. Now, facing a legal conflict that could change everything, Kirk felt a mix of anger and heartbreak coursing through him. He questioned everything. Did Jasmine ever really believe in their relationship? Was this her plan all along, or had things just gotten too complicated to fix? The last conversation they shared replayed in his mind, a heated exchange filled with accusations and tears. It was a painful reminder of the unresolved issues between them, issues that had hardened over time into an unspoken tension. Seeking clarity, Kirk finally picked up the phone and dialed his attorney. "I need to understand my options," he said, his voice calm yet firm, trying to steady himself amidst the emotional storm. As he awaited the attorney's response, Kirk realized the weight of the road ahead. This was no longer just a conflict with Jasmine. It was a fight for his future, his family, and perhaps a way to heal the damage that had already been done. Kirk felt overwhelmed and unsettled. The conversation he just had was filled with confusing legal terms and different possible outcomes. But one thing stood out to him clearly. He needed to protect himself and his son. When the call ended, Kirk's emotions were a mix of dread and determination. He was not about to let this conflict define his life. He reminded himself that he had always been there for his family. And this wasn't just a battle over money. It was about his son's future. The stakes were higher than ever, and he knew he couldn't afford to let emotions cloud his decisions. Later that evening, Kirk met his friends at a local bar. As the music played and laughter filled the room, he tried to push the dark thoughts away. But as soon as he sat down, the conversation took a serious turn, shifting toward his situation with Jasmine. One of his friends made a lighthearted comment about child support, raising his beer in a playful toast. Kirk's heart raced with both anger and embarrassment. "It's not a joke, man. This is serious," he said, his tone wiping the smiles from their faces. The laughter faded, and his friends exchanged looks of concern. Leaning back in his chair, Kirk admitted, "I never thought it would come to this." He explained that he and Jasmine had had their issues, but $7 million? It felt like a betrayal. His friends listened, their expressions shifting from amusement to sympathy. They knew his history with Jasmine, how a once passionate relationship had become toxic over time. One friend, looking worried, asked him, "What are you going to do now?" "I'm going to fight," Kirk responded, feeling a surge of determination. "I can't let her take everything from me. I care too much about my son to let this destroy us." The resolve in his voice surprised even him. This wasn't just a financial issue. It was about his dignity and his role as a father. As the night wore on, the weight on his shoulders felt lighter, if only for a moment. Surrounded by supportive friends, Kirk began to see a path forward. He knew he would have to take legal action, but now he felt stronger, more prepared to face the challenges ahead. "I'll make sure everything is fair," he said firmly, feeling his determination strengthen. Despite everything that had happened, he still cared deeply about Jasmine and wanted to work together as co-parents. However, he was also clear that he would not let himself be taken advantage of. As the conversation drifted to lighter subjects, his mind remained focused on the challenges ahead. He knew the journey would be tough, filled with difficult moments and emotional struggles, but he was ready to face them head-on for the sake of his family. When he finally left the bar, he felt a wave of empowerment wash over him. Back home, he looked at photos of his son, feeling a glimmer of hope and joy cut through his doubts. He whispered to himself, "No matter what happens, I'll make sure he knows he's loved." This inner fire gave him the courage to move forward with resilience and self-respect. He was committed to taking control of his life, prepared to face whatever came his way. His son's happiness was his priority, and he was determined to create a stable and bright future for him. In the world of reality television, few couples have captivated audiences as much as Kirk Frost and Rasheeda Frost. Their story on Love and Hip Hop has had everything: passion, ambition, and its fair share of ups and downs. Recently, however, new developments have shocked their fans, turning their once admired relationship into a scandal that has grabbed headlines. One evening, after a day filled with business meetings and promotional appearances, Kirk and Rasheeda returned home, appearing calm on the surface. Known for their entrepreneurial spirit, the couple had been managing their professional lives alongside raising a family and trying to keep their marriage strong. But beneath this appearance, tensions were building. Rumors had begun to circulate, questioning Kirk's loyalty and hinting at Rasheeda's growing frustrations. As the night wore on, a feeling of tension filled the room, revealing the strain that had been quietly growing. In the end, the strength of his resolve and the depth of his commitment to his family gave him hope for the future. No matter how difficult the path, he felt ready to navigate the storm with integrity, determined to come out on the other side, not just for himself, but for his son, who would always know he was loved and cared for. A simple argument about everyday household matters quickly turned into an intense fight. Voices grew louder, and things were said that left deep marks. It was the kind of drama you might expect to see on TV, but sadly, this was happening in real life. Then, something unexpected happened. Worried neighbors who heard the noise called 911, reporting a domestic disturbance. When the police arrived at the Frost's home, they found an emotionally charged scene. Rasheeda was visibly upset, her eyes red and swollen from crying. The officers examined the situation, and after talking to both Rasheeda and her partner, made the tough call to arrest Kirk. The news spread fast, and soon it was all over social media. Fans were shocked and confused, as they had followed this couple through both good times and bad. Now, they were dealing with the surprising news of this serious event. Shortly after, Rasheeda posted an emotional message on Instagram, adding fuel to the already intense situation. She wrote, "I never thought I would have to face this. I deserve respect and safety." Alongside her words was a photo of her looking strong but vulnerable, showing both her resilience and sadness. As more details emerged, it became clear that this wasn't just an isolated argument. It was the result of many underlying issues in their relationship that had been building up for years. Some celebrity insiders began speculating about the heavy toll that fame, especially in reality television, can take on personal relationships. Constantly being in the public eye creates pressure to appear perfect while handling private struggles. It can turn emotions into a ticking time bomb, with the stress building until something sets it off. In the days that followed, the public reaction was intense and divided. Fans were split, with some firmly supporting Rasheeda, encouraging her, and expressing their sympathy. They recognized the struggles she had shared publicly and praised her for showing courage through this difficult time. Meanwhile, others were left reeling, trying to process what had happened between a couple they had grown attached to over the years. This event highlighted how challenging it can be to live a life so openly while dealing with personal issues, reminding everyone of the often unseen struggles behind the glamorous facade of fame. The situation between Rasheeda and Kirk has been a whirlwind, with emotions running high both online and offline. Rasheeda is focused on what matters most, her safety and that of her family. Many people are showing their support, encouraging her to be cautious and protect herself. Meanwhile, some fans remain supportive of Kirk, asking others to be compassionate